So hi future officers, a warm welcome to all of you in the today's session on EduTap, and the session that we are going to hear is the CT360 series, in which we cover the most important GA and ESI current affairs from the exam point of view. And let me tell you guys that once again I am back with a session in which we will be discussing this particular news articles from the dates of 18th to 19th of September 2024. So if I'm audible and visible to all of you, please give me a thumbs up in the chat box so that we can start with the today's session. So I'm waiting for a response in the chat box so that you can really tell me that yes, we are good to go with the today's session. And my dear friends, let me tell you that this session is really going to be helpful for all the aspirants who are preparing for RBI, NABARD as well as the IRDAI exam. Okay? So we all know that the phase 1 of the RBI and NABARD is really done. Now it's really a time for all of you to gear up for a phase 2 preparation. Okay? So I'm just waiting for your responses, guys. If I'm audible and visible to all of you, please give me a thumbs up in the chat box. So I can see here that the people have given me the responses. So a very good evening to all the people, Vishwajit, Pallu, Advitya. So welcome to EduTap. And now if you are still new to our YouTube channel, kindly subscribe to it and press the bell icon to receive all the latest updates of the courses and videos offered by us. And in order to get the PDF of the today's session, guys, you can definitely join our Telegram channel, जिसका लिंक आपको मिलेगा डिस्क्रिप्शन के अंदर. ठीक है, तो हमारे सारे सेशंस के PDF आपको टेलीग्राम चैनल पर मिल जाएंगे. Now coming to the agenda of the today's session, the topics that we will be discussing in the today's session. So this includes NPS Vatsalya scheme, BioRide scheme, brand ambassador of MOPSW, then some other important initiatives. So some of them are important for both phase 1 and phase 2, and some are only important for the phase 1. For example, NPS Vatsalya and BioRide scheme are the new schemes which have been recently launched by the government of India. So these are really important for your phase 2 exam. So if you are preparing for phase 2 of RBI and NABARD, definitely these schemes are really going to play a very important role in your preparation. Okay? So we will be start first with the topics which are relevant for both phase 1 and the phase 2. And today, guys, I will be starting this particular session with one of the iconic scenes from an iconic movie, that is 3 Idiots. And you can really connect this particular part that from this particular part that when the parents were really concerned about their child's career. ठीक है कि मेरा बेटा बड़ा होके क्या करेगा. But let me tell you guys that this is the story of decades back. And now the parents are not just concerned about their child's career but also about their financial security post their career, that means after the retirement age. And for that I would like to here introduce a person here, that is the Vatsalya. So this is the person, a boy whose name is Vatsalya. Let me tell you that his parents are really concerned about his financial security post retirement. See, when he will be post 60 years, what exactly will be the amount of money that he will be having, whether he will be financially secure or not. So that is why his parents were really concerned about his financial security. And let me tell you that his parents had decided to write a letter to the government of India that, see, in our country, we are really having the financial security for the people who are between the age of 18 to 70, right? And what exactly this scheme is, that is National Pension Scheme. तो नेशनल पेंशन स्कीम के अंदर 18 to 70 इयर्स के लोग तो यहाँ पर फाइनेंशियली सिक्योर हैं, बट व्हाट अबाउट माय चाइल्ड हु इज बिलो 18 इयर्स ऑफ एज. So how exactly I can plan his financial security? So he write a letter to the government of India, and as a result, my dear friends, government of India come up with a scheme which is named as the NPS Vatsalya. So basically we all know that in order to get the benefit of the pension after a certain age, we really required to basically pay some premium, and that is why this Vatsalya scheme has been recently launched by the government of India, keeping in mind Vatsalya in their mind that okay, we really require to basically secure the financial security of Vatsalya here. So यहाँ पर हम देख सकते हैं कि this scheme has been recently launched by finance minister, that is Nirmala Sitharaman ji, and the name of the scheme is NPS Vatsalya, that is the pension scheme for the minors, that is people who are below the 18 years of age. ठीक है? So basically, guys, you can see here that this is a step of the government of India in order to promote long-term financial planning and security for all the citizens of the nation. And that's why with the help of this initiative, they will be focusing on the securing children's financial future through a pension account. तो एक pension account के जरिए चिल्ड्रंस का फ्यूचर यहाँ पर सिक्योर किया जाएगा. ठीक है? सो यहाँ पर अगर हम बात करते हैं बेसिकली एज अ पार्ट ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर स्कीम, So who will be eligible? As I told you that Vatsalya. So guys, Vatsalya की अगर हम बात करते हैं, so Vatsalya is basically a child who is below 18 years of age. So he is a minor. So for this particular strata of the population of our nation, this particular Vatsalya scheme has been launched, that is for the people aged below 18 years. And here, let me tell you that the parents of Vatsalya can open an account in the name of Vatsalya, but this account will be operated by the parents or the guardian. Okay? As you can see here, that account can be named with the name of minor and operated by the parent or guardian. And the minor will be the beneficiary, that is here the person Vatsalya is basically going to be the beneficiary of NPS Vatsalya scheme. ठीक है? So I believe guys कि इस तरीके की स्टोरी फॉर्मेट से डेफिनेटली आप सभी को डिटेल समझ में आएंगी स्कीम की, that we are really required to remember from the exam point of view. Now moving ahead to the other important details here. So the scheme is basically operated by the Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority. तो PFRDA के अंडर इस स्कीम को लॉन्च किया गया है, and there will be different point of presence through which the person can really apply for this particular scheme. So basically it includes by India Post, Pension Fund and the online platform that is eNPS, through which a subscriber can really apply for this particular scheme. But in order to gain the pension after a certain age, guys, we always remember that some kind of premium is required to be paid. So what exactly is the premium? So here rupees 1000 is basically the minimum contribution per annum that is required to be paid by the subscriber in order to attain the benefits of the NPS Vatsalya scheme. Okay? And when I talk about the maximum contribution, guys, so as Vatsalya parents are really very rich, so they were like, okay, we are not just satisfied with the 1000 rupees. So we will be paying more as a premium. So that's why Government of India ने कहा कि ठीक है जी, there will be no limit on the maximum contribution. तो कोई लिमिट हम नहीं रख रहे, maximum contribution पे आपको जितना contribute करना है आप कर सकते हैं. Now PFRDA will provide multiple investment choices to the subscribers. तो वत्सल्य के पास यहाँ पर काफी सारी choices होंगी कि वो किस में अपना पैसा इन्वेस्ट करना चाहते हैं, वो गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज में करना चाहते हैं, डेट में करना चाहते हैं. तो यहाँ पर डिफरेंट ऑप्शंस रहेंगे, like we were having in the NPS part. Apart from that, as you can see that subscriber can take exposure in the government securities, corporate debt, equity in the different proportions. And on attaining the age of majority, that is on attaining the age of maturity, that means 18 years. जब 18 years का, when Vatsalya will be celebrating his 18th birthday, what will happen? His NPS Vatsalya account will basically converted into a normal NPS account. So you can see here that we always tell you that when we are starting early for something, we are really going to get more of the things in the upcoming future. Similarly, here Vatsalya parents has basically planned, okay, we will be starting early in the age, and for that parents, for the Vatsalya, Government of India has come up with the NPS Vatsalya scheme. Now there are some more important things that we have to remember here, that when we talk about the registration process, guys, so registration process for the NPS Vatsalya scheme is very straightforward, and it offers various methods like including Aadhaar or DigiLocker, and the service is available also to non-resident Indians as well and the overseas citizens of the card holders. तो आप देख सकते हो कि OCI और NRIs दोनों के लिए ये स्कीम यहाँ पर अवेलेबल रहेगी, and they can really make their contribution from their NRE account and their NRO account. ठीक है? After the minor reaches 18 years of age, the NPS Vatsalya account is converted into a regular NPS account. So we have already covered this part. Now my dear friends, if there is a Vatsalya around you, then you can also aware their parents as well about the NPS Vatsalya scheme. So if you are really able to understand the scheme, please give me a thumbs up in the chat box that yes, we are able to understand the scheme, so that we can move on to the next news article of the today's session. So guys, अगर आपको पसंद आया तरीका कवर करने का स्कीम को, and you are really able to understand the scheme and retain the important points of the scheme, then it is really very important for you to tell me that yes, we are able to understand the scheme, so that we can move on to the next part. So guys, यहाँ पर अगर हम important चीजें याद रखते हैं तो definitely PFRDA is basically will be operating this particular scheme. The minimum contribution will be ₹1000 and the upper limit has no ceiling here. तो यहाँ पर कोई भी ceiling नहीं है upper limit के लिए, and the beneficiary is below 18 years of age. Apart from that, after attaining the age of 18 years, this NPS Vatsalya account will basically get converted into the NPS account. ठीक है? normal NPS account. So I believe that yes, you guys are really able to get this point of the scheme. Now let's move on to the next important news article, guys. And next news article पे जाने से पहले I would like to tell you a small story here. So this is Arjun. As you can see here that he is a biotech engineer and doing some of the research in the lab. So Arjun is some person who does a lot of research in the lab of his university, and for many years he is basically doing his research. But one challenge he is facing, and what exactly that challenge is, that he do not have the idea that how I can basically take my project from lab to the real world. How can I take my project from lab to a real world? So basically he wants that yes, I'm having the good ideas and I can really make them realize them, but for that I really need some mentorship. I want to do some more research. I want some guidance on the industrial development as well. And apart from that, as we all know that India is having the target, and the whole world is even following the sustainable development goals. They are targeting the sustainable development goals. For that we are also required to have these projects to be sustainable. So in सबके लिए here the person Arjun is having no idea. तो ये जो रिसर्च स्कॉलर है इनको एक आइडिया चाहिए जिससे कि वो अपने इस प्रोजेक्ट को एक न्यू हाइट्स तक लेके जा सके, अपने बायोटेक प्रोजेक्ट्स को वो न्यू हाइट पे लेके जा सके. एंड फॉर दैट ही नीड्स अ राइड to reach that particular height, to take his projects to the near height. So what exactly? For this he has write a letter to the government of India, and as a result government of India has launched a scheme that is BioRide. ठीक है जी. तो BioRide के जरिए Arjun will be able to take his biotech projects to a new heights. ठीक है. So recently government of India has approved the continuation of two umbrella schemes, and the merged scheme is called the BioRide, which stands for Biotechnology Research, Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development. Biotechnology Research, Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development is the name of the scheme, which has been recently approved by the Union Cabinet. And let me tell you that earlier there were two schemes. They have been submerged into the one as a BioRide scheme. So I believe कि आपको यहाँ पर main aspect पता चल गया है BioRide scheme का क्या है. ठीक है. So as I told you that this particular scheme, with this scheme Arjun basically wants to do research. He wants to industrial development of the products that he wants to create. Apart from that, that should also be sustainable. So this particular scheme will foster innovation, promote bio entrepreneurship, and strengthen India's position as the global leader in the biomanufacturing technology. And how this will be done? By accelerating the research, enhancing product development, and bridge the gap between academic research and the industrial applications. So now Arjun will be able to accelerate his research. He will be able to enhance the product development through his projects. Then with the help of this BioRide scheme, the gap which was there between the academy and the industry, so basically this will be bridged, and he will be really able to realize his projects from lab to the real world. And here you can see guys that for this the scheme is having the three components, that is biotechnology, research and development, जहाँ पर अर्जुन research करेंगे. Industrial and entrepreneurship development is there, जहाँ पर he will be able to make his biotech projects into the realization. And then there is a biomanufacturing and biofoundry. When I talk about this third component guys, this is the new component of this scheme. This is the new component of the scheme, and this component is basically tells us about the green projects that we are talking about. Okay? So here you can see that to enable the circular bioeconomy, that means in order to reduce the wastage while launching these particular projects in the country, this component has been introduced, that is biomanufacturing and biofoundry, which is initiated in alignment with lifestyle for environment life. So mission life आप सभी ने देखा है guys, आप सभी ने पढ़ा है बहुत बार. I won't be discussing mission life today here, but yes, mission life के साथ aligned है ये component of this particular BioRide scheme. I hope this point is clear to all of you. So when we talk about the outlay of the scheme, so the outlay of the scheme is 9197 crore rupees, and this scheme will be applicable from 2022 to 2025-26, that is a period of 15th Finance Commission. So this is going to be the duration of the scheme, this will be the outlay of the scheme. So दोनों चीजें हमें याद रखनी है. Apart from that, three components are very important. I have told you that what Arjun wants: research and development, industrial and entrepreneurship development, and then biomanufacturing and biofoundry. ठीक है. So I believe कि इस तरीके से आप तीनों components को भी याद कर सकते हो, and you can even remember about the outlay and the tenure as well. Now guys, apart from that, when we talk about the implementation of the scheme, what exactly will be the impact here? You can see here that this is really going to promote the bio entrepreneurship, under which seed funding, incubation support and mentorship will be provided to the bio entrepreneurs, just like Arjun that we have discussed here. Then apart from that, we really want to advance our innovations, and for that we also require some funding, some grants. So this this particular bio ride scheme will be offering grants and incentives for cutting edge research and development of the biotech projects. Then it will be facilitating industry academy collaboration, जिसके अंदर हमने already cover किया कि industry और academy का collaboration होगा, तो अर्जुन जैसे जो scholars हैं अपने projects को lab से real world में लेके आ सकते हैं. Then they will be encouraging sustainable biomanufacturing, that we have already covered. Support researchers through extramural funding, so they will be providing funding to research institutions. Universities को funding दी जाएगी, individual researchers को funding दी जाएगी in areas which include agriculture, healthcare, bioenergy and the environmental sustainability. Then it will also be working towards nurturing human resource in the biotechnology sector. By how? Basically by supporting these young scholars and the researchers just like Arjun. So my dear friends, I think now with the help of this particular story of Arjun, you will be really able to understand about the BioRide scheme. BioRide scheme, which is basically a scheme under the Department of Biotechnology, which works under the Ministry of Science and Technology. So Department of Biotechnology के अंदर है ये scheme, which works under the Ministry of Science and Technology, right? Apart from that, we all know that Government of India is basically having a target of becoming the $300 billion bioeconomy by year 2030. And this scheme is really going to help India achieving this target of the $300 billion bioeconomy by year 2030. And guys, when we talk about this particular scheme, so we have covered here that what exactly will be the tenure of the scheme, what is going to be the outlay of the scheme, under which department the scheme has been launched, what are the three components of the scheme. So now I think this point is really very much clear to all of you. And now let's move on to the other news articles which are relevant for only phase 1 of the exam. ठीक है? So I think ये दोनों schemes आपको अच्छे से याद हो गई हैं अब, and you will definitely be able to answer question on the basis of these schemes in the exam. So moving on to the first news article, guys. So we all know about the double Olympic medal winner, that is Manu Bhaker, and Manu Bhaker has been recently appointed as the new brand ambassador of Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways. So Manu Bhaker, जिनको हम जानते हैं, she is the daughter of a marine engineer, and guys, let me tell you that Manu Bhaker has been recently appointed as the brand ambassador for Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways. और एक रिकॉर्ड आपके इनके बारे में आपको याद रखना पड़ेगा, that Manu Bhaker is the only Indian to ever win 2 individual Olympic medals in an Olympics ever. तो एक ही ओलंपिक के अंदर 2 मेडल जीतने वाली ऐसी पहली इंडियन पर्सन है. So that's all that we need to remember from this part. Let's move on to the next news article. So the next news article is about the Bhartiya Antariksh Station. So guys, you must have heard about the International Space Station. Just like the International Space Station, the government of India has recently approved a project in which we will be setting up our own Bhartiya Antariksh Station. And उसी project को यहाँ पर approve किया गया है by the Union Cabinet. And you can see here that this particular project will be executed by extending the scope of Gaganyaan program. तो Gaganyaan program के बारे में आप सभी जानते हैं, which was approved in year 2018. And this particular program was basically in order to send the human astronauts to Indian astronauts to the low Earth orbits, right? तो आप देख सकते हो कि this mission will also include demonstrating and validating the various technologies for building and operating the Bhartiya Antariksh Station. तो ये जो यहाँ पर अप्रूव किया गया इस प्रोजेक्ट को, इसके अंदर यहाँ पर जो भी टेक्नोलॉजी हमें चाहिए, जो भी और रिक्वायरमेंट्स रिसोर्सेज की है, तो उसको अप्रूव किया गया है. एंड द गगनयान प्रोग्राम हैज बीन रिवाइज्ड सो दैट वी कैन इंक्लूड द स्कोप ऑफ डेवलपमेंट एंड प्रीकर्सर मिशंस ऑफ भारतीय अंतरिक्ष स्टेशन. तो भारतीय अंतरिक्ष स्टेशन को सेटअप करने के लिए जो भी चीजों की रिक्वायरमेंट है, तो उसको यहाँ पर गगनयान प्रोग्राम के स्कोप के अंदर इंक्लूड किया गया है. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, after the approval of this Bhartiya Antariksh Station, the human spaceflight program of technology development and demonstration will be taken through 8 missions and this will be completed by December 2028. तो याद रखिए जो पहली यूनिट है, the first unit of the Bhartiya Antariksh Station will be set up by December 2028. A very important point that we need to remember here. ठीक है जी. सो आई होप दिस पॉइंट इज क्लियर टू ऑल ऑफ यू. तो 2028 तक फर्स्ट मॉड्यूल जो है भारतीय अंतरिक्ष स्टेशन का सेटअप किया जाएगा इन द स्पेस. Now guys, when we talk about the Gaganyaan program, it was approved in December 2018 and it basically aims to take the human spaceflight to low Earth orbit. And as a part of the vision for Amrit Kal, you can see here that we will be having a fully operational Bhartiya Antariksh station by 2035. तो 2035 तक, see 2028 तक BAS की एक सिंगल यूनिट को सेटअप किया जाएगा, बट बाय 2035 तक we will be having complete Bhartiya Antariksh station in the space. And apart from that, there is one more important thing that we need to remember, that Indian crewed lunar mission will be there by 2040. That means Indian astronauts will be going to the moon and that mission will be taking place in 2040. ठीक है, so we all know that Gaganyaan program 2018 के अंदर लॉन्च किया गया था. So now, in order to include the scope of the BAS in the Gaganyaan program, some more funding was required, and that is why additional funding of 11,170 crore has been added to Gaganyaan program, and now the total funding of Gaganyaan program is 20,193 crore rupees. So please make sure you remember this point because this can also be asked in the exam. So I hope that Bhartiya Antariksh station कब तक सेटअप किया जाएगा? पहली यूनिट will be set up by 2028 and fully operational by 2035. ठीक है, and Indian crewed lunar mission कब होगा? By year 2040. So this is something that we can remember from the exam point of view. Now let's move on to the next news article, in which Indian Army has recently signed an MoU with the TMR, which stands for Tiranga Mountain Rescue. So basically this particular MoU has been signed between the two entities in order to conduct customized training programs for army instructors. जो आर्मी के अंदर इंस्ट्रक्टर्स हैं उनके लिए कस्टमाइज्ड ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम यहाँ पर स्टार्ट किया जाएगा, so that we can improve their ability to mentor troops in the avalanche rescue and survival skills. जब भी कहीं पर कोई एवलांच आता है तो उस टाइम पर कैसे हम रेस्क्यू कर सकते हैं और उस टाइम पर जो स्किल्स की रिक्वायरमेंट है, तो उस स्किल रिक्वायरमेंट और उस स्किल एबिलिटी को एनहांस करने के लिए दिस MoU has been signed between the two entities, that is Indian Army and the TMR. Let's move on to the next news article, guys. A very important news article. We all know that recently men's Indian hockey team has won the Asian Champions Trophy. So you will be really glad to see that Indian men's hockey team has defeated China in the finals, which also take place in China. So Asian Champions Trophy कहाँ हुई थी? चाइना के अंदर हुई थी और India defeated China only to win the Asian Champions Trophy 2024 under the captaincy of Harmanpreet Singh. ठीक है, तो Harmanpreet Singh was the captain of the Indian team who has won the Asian Champions Trophy, and let me tell you that India has retained this trophy for the second consecutive edition. So last edition was also been won by India only, and this is the second time that India has won the two consecutive editions. For example, last time we were having in 2016 and 2018, Indian team won the Champions Trophy, Asian Champions Trophy, and now again in 23 and 24, Indian team has won the Asian Champions Trophy. Now guys, there is really important thing that we need to discuss about the important awards as a part of Asian Champions Trophy. So the top goal scorer of the event was Yang Ji-hoon, who has scored 9 goals and he is from Korea. Promising goalkeeper was Kim Jae-ha of Korea. Then best goalkeeper of the tournament was Wong Kaiyu of China. Then the rising star of the tournament is Hanan Shahid from Pakistan, and the player of the tournament is Indian captain Harmanpreet Singh. So guys, we have to remember all these points from the exam point of view. ठीक है जी? So I hope this point is clear to all of you. And now let's move on to the next news article, which is related to important days. So here, International Equal Pay Day. We celebrate this day every year on 18th of September. And this day is celebrated every year on 18th September to represent the efforts that we have taken towards achievement of equal pay for work of equal value. So we all know guys that there is always a gender gap in terms of pay as well. ठीक है, तो there are various areas and various sectors where the men are basically paid more as compared to the women for their same work. But guys, यहाँ पर इसी चीज को, इसी effort को that we are taking in order to achieve the equal pay for work of equal value, we celebrate International Equal Pay Day on 18th of September every year. ठीक है, now let me tell you that there is a coalition as well which basically fights for this purpose, and that is the Equal Pay International Coalition. And this coalition is being led by 3 organizations, that is International Labour Organization, United Nations Women and OECD. तो ये तीनों organization मिलके they have made a coalition for Equal Pay International Coalition to achieve equal pay for women and men everywhere. And this is the only multi-stakeholder partnership which is really there in the world for fighting for the equal pay for equal work. ठीक है? So this is one day which we celebrate here. Now it's the time for another day, that is World Patient Safety Day. So we celebrate this day every year on 17th of September for global solidarity and concerted action by all the countries and international partners to improve the patient safety. तो patient safety को enhance करने के लिए we celebrate the World Patient Safety Day every year on 17th of September. तो 17th September there is a World Patient Safety Day. On 18th September we are having the Equal Pay Day. ठीक है? So I hope these days are important and you are very much clear. And now guys, we are done with all the news articles. Now it's the time for us to solve the questions based on these particular news articles, and let us see that who will be telling me the right answer in the chat box about this question. So पहला question आप सभी के लिए है from the NPS Vatsalya scheme. So guys, you have to identify here the correct statement about the scheme. So I already told you that we are always required to just focus on the keywords here from these particular schemes. Now I want all of you to tell me the right answer about the scheme in the chat box. तो पहला क्वेश्चन है एनपीएस वात्सल्य स्कीम पे. सो इट इज एन एंडेवर टू प्रमोट लॉन्ग टर्म फाइनेंशियल प्लानिंग. एब्सोल्युटली राइट. Second statement, all minor citizens that is age below 18 years, that is also correct here. They're eligible for the scheme, and on attaining the age of majority, the plan can be converted into a normal NPS account. That is absolutely right. Now the third statement is that subscriber has to make a minimum contribution, that is rupees 1000, and the maximum contribution rupees 10,000. So guys, now quickly tell me in the chat box whether there is any maximum contribution on the NPS Vatsalya or not. Whether as a part of the NPS Vatsalya, guys, there is really a kind of maximum contribution here. So we have already covered that there is no maximum contribution in the NPS Vatsalya. That is why the right answer is the third statement is incorrect. So Vishwajit, Pallu, Advitya, Anchu, all the people have given me the right answer to this question. Well done guys. Let's move on to the next question. Next question is on the Men's Hockey Asian Championship Trophy. So you have to identify the correct statements about the event here. So first statement, India's men's hockey team has won the trophy by defeating Pakistan in the finals. India retained the trophy for the second consecutive edition. Absolutely right. Indian captain Harmanpreet Singh was the player of the tournament, while Pakistan Thana Shahid was the rising star of the tournament. So third statement is also right. So first statement is incorrect because it was China which was hosting the event and which was also defeated by India in the finals. So here the statement number 1 is incorrect. So right answer will be option B, that is 2 and 3 only. Option B is the right answer. Absolutely right, my dear friends. This is the right part. So I can see here all the people have given me the right answer in the chat box. Now let's move on to the next question. So next question is about the Bhartiya Antariksh station. We have to identify here that what is the year by which we will be launching the first unit of the BAS1, that is Bhartiya Antariksh station first unit, that first module, by which year it will be launched? It will be launched by December 2028. That is option E is the right answer. Okay? So I can see in the chat box, yes, all the people have given me the right answer. Well done, my dear friends. And now guys, there is a time for the homework question for all of you. तो एक homework question आपके सामने है. So you all remember the story of Arjun. So अर्जुन की स्टोरी अगर आपको याद है तो आप डेफिनेटली इस स्कीम को आंसर कर सकते हैं. दैट इज द बायोराइड स्कीम. तो बायोराइड स्कीम को आप मुझे बताइएगा which of the following statements are correct here about the BioRide scheme in the comment section. ठीक है? Now it's the time for homework question of the previous session. तो last session में we talked about the 8th India Water Week which was been launched and we were required to identify here the statements which are correct here. तो यहाँ पर guys right answer was option 1 and 2 only, that is option A. Why? Because it was Ministry of Panchayati Raj and not the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, which is a partner ministry for the week, and that is why the third statement was incorrect here. And who are the star performers of the last session? You can see here the long list of the people who are the star performers. So yesterday, let me tell you guys that in the homework question there was a incorrect part, and that is basically here. Basically, I mentioned the to identify incorrect statement here. ठीक है? तो एक छोटी सी गलती थी. सो डू नॉट वरी. वी वर अगर हम बात करते हैं करेक्ट स्टेटमेंट की, 1 and 2 इज द राइट आंसर. तो यहाँ पर सभी स्टूडेंट्स का आंसर बिल्कुल सही था. तो सभी ने बताया है कि 1 and 2 आर करेक्ट एंड 3 इज द इनकरेक्ट. सो वेल डन टू ऑल द पीपल हु हैव आंसर्ड दिस क्वेश्चन. एंड इफ यू आल्सो वांट टू बिकम द स्टार परफॉर्मर ऑफ this session guys, then all of you have to basically tell me the right answer of the homework question in the comment section of the today's session. ठीक है? So that was all from the today's session guys. I believe that this session was really fruitful and useful to all of you. If you are having any queries, please feel free to revert your queries in the chat box. I will be answering your queries here only. एंड अगर आप इस सेशन की रिकॉर्डिंग देख रहे हैं तो डेफिनेटली आप अपने कमेंट्स को कमेंट सेक्शन के अंदर डाल सकते हैं, अपनी क्वेरीज को कमेंट सेक्शन के अंदर डाल सकते हैं. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट गाइस, डू लेट मी नो इन द चैट बॉक्स एंड इन द कमेंट सेक्शन दैट वेदर यू रियली लाइक्ड द वे वी हैव कवर्ड दीज स्कीम्स और नॉट. ठीक है, तो जिस तरीके से हमने सेशन को कंडक्ट किया है, आर यू गाइज लाइकिंग द वे ऑफ कवरिंग दिस पार्ट? आर यू गाइज रियली एबल टू रिटेन एंड अंडरस्टैंड these schemes? So do let me know in the comment section. So I can see here in the chat box there are no queries here. So I will be coming up with the next session again. Till then, stay happy, stay healthy. Wish you all happy learning.